whole intro was shot with this little drone, the Dji Mavic Mini. Welcome to this video. My name is Paul. I'm a German freelancer. I work with my camera, with my Lumix S1H. Currently filming is the S5, and I was 2 years ago in Greece with the Dji Mavic Mini, and I was this year in Greece with the Dji R3. I had also the Dji Mavic Mini with me, but it broke on the first day. It fell out of the sky. If you guys know what that caused that this drone fell out the sky from 10 meters height, I gave this drone, the son of my girlfriend. He was 15, flying this drone, and all of a sudden, poof, it fell out of the sky. Now it's broken. It turns on GPS module failure. I don't know what it caused, but now it's broken. So I have now a little comparison for you. I filmed basically 2 years ago a lot of stuff with the Dji Mavic Mini and a lot of stuff on the same basically date 2 years apart with the Dji R3. And now comes a little comparison test and A/B test. Let's see which clips do you think is from which drone. And maybe write in the comments now, what do you think? Which clip is from which drone? Is A, the Mavic Mini, or B, the Dji R3? So, the Dji Mavic Mini is camera A, and camera B is the Dji R3. Welcome now in my editing studio of choice, that's Vegas 365 Pro. And you can see clearly, I filmed almost the same things. I had a little mixture of clips, and I think the Dji R3 looks amazing. And also the Dji Mavic Mini looks amazing. On bright daylight, when you have basically perfect conditions, is it almost indistinguishable. You can almost not see any difference in the footage. At least for me, is this ultra incredible. It's crazy how these drones look almost the same for me. And I have a color grading monitor here, the ISO CS2740 1500 euro color grading 27-inch monitor, and I can tell you this footage looks amazing from both drones. Sure, the Dji R3 has a huge advantage. It has a bigger sensor. It has basically two cameras, 24mm and 30mm, 70mm, a 3x zoom. And that was basically for me also the reason to purchase this drone. Sure, on paper is the Dji R3 clearly better than the Dji Mavic Mini. It has two large sensors. It can fly for, I think, 46 minutes or something. It can film in 4K 60 FPS or in the SNQ mode in 4K 100 FPS. It has the new D-Log M, etc. I converted this footage from the Dji R3 to the Rec 709 standard profile. The LUT comes from DJI, and I think the footage looks amazing. But still, also the footage from the OG Dji Mavic Mini looks also very good. It is incredible how this footage looks. And when you film incredible stuff, the footage looks just very, very good in my opinion. It's incredible. I like this, how this little drone looks so fantastic. I can tell you that this footage from this drone is also a little bit flexible. The Dji Mavic Mini, you can play with the footage somehow a little bit. It's not so ultra flexible because it is not 10-bit, it's only 8-bit. I tend to underexpose it a little bit. That's better for the highlight roll-off then. The dynamic range is not so much as the Dji R3, of course, but the Dji Mavic Mini still looks fantastic. Till this day is it, in my opinion, amazing. And I show you now what's the difference. The difference is beneath it. I tend to talk about footage that it has 3 dimensions. It has the height and the width, the pixels and the color, and 8-bit or 10-bit the codec, it's the thickness of the footage, how much you can work with it. You have here, for instance, a DJI R3 clip, and you can work with the color so much. You can go in the hue versus hue. You can change the color of the water. Let's make it a little bit greenish, bluish. Then you can transform the highlights as well. Then you can go in the color curves here. You see that you have here in the waveform monitor a lot of details. You can make a lot of details visible, and that's amazing for me. You can also raise the shadows a bit. Raising the shadows works in almost no camera, very good. Better retain some details from the highlights. The sensor in the DJI R3 works better when you want to save some space in the highlights. And of course you have 60 FPS in 4K. That's amazing. That looks so incredible when you have then nice waves, a rock that's a 9-meter high cliff here, and that looks amazing. And you can play with the footage, but also the DJI Mavic Mini looks as well very, very good. Let me change the preview here to full, and the DJI Mavic Mini even looks amazing when you have footage like this. Sunset, golden hour, nice drone, when you know how to expose in a drone, when you know that you can lose things in the shadow, you want to focus on the sky. Every drone looks amazing. You can purchase a cheap little drone, film sunset, and it will look amazing. It will not be distinguishable, is it a DJI R3, Mavic 2 Pro or whatever. Here again, what's this shot? Is it the DJI Mavic Mini? Is it the DJI R3? It is the DJI Mavic Mini, and it looks amazing. It's only 2.7K, but resolution is a lie. Nobody needs resolution really, except certain things. Again here, this is also DJI Mavic Mini footage. It looks amazing. Sure, when you work with the footage, you can then see that the DJI R3 image looks a little bit better. The camera is better. Of course, it's newer, but in my opinion, RD's camera in bright daylight on a YouTube screen or even on a smartphone screen indistinguishable from one another. That's for sure. Both looks almost the same. That's really crazy. And when you have then the DJI R3, you have of course the night mode. Let's talk about now about the DJI R3 night mode. The footage looks incredible. It films then with 25 or 24 frames per second, and the shutter speed is almost 1:1 or 360 degrees. Why? Because when you film, then you can see when the camera pans or move that you have a little bit of motion blur, not a little bit of motion blur, a whole lot of motion blur. I thought when I filmed a car moving, that you have a lot of motion blur. But that's necessary because you want to have the most light on each frame. And from just looking at the footage, it looks very good. For social media, completely fine. Don't try to play with the footage and to make it even better. Don't try to brighten up the footage. It will fall apart very quickly. You can see here in the RGB parade that you have these lines here, the footage falls apart. You can even see it in a waveform, etc. That looks completely stupid in my opinion. Leave the footage as it is. I mean, you can try to play with it a little bit, but you will make it more worse than better, because DJI knows what it does, what they do, and they have the color science in it, and they are, believe me, better than you in color, in color science, of course. You have in the DJI R3, let me take a random clip here, the 3x camera or the 70mm camera, and that was a no-brainer for me. The 70mm camera looks as good as the 24mm camera. That's the same sensor. That was for me very important, that I can film both things and both things look the same. When you purchase, for instance, the DJI Mavic 3 Pro because you're rich and you want to have a 5,000 euro drone, the cameras have different sensor. You have only the best sensor in the 24mm camera, the 70mm and the 135mm. Looks terrible, believe me. And when you want to change then between the footage, you cannot do this seamlessly. Here you have the same quality. The footage looks the same. that is ultra incredible. It looks amazing. You can film with the 24mm, then you have to stop the recording, and then you can film with the 24mm, and it looks the same. Let me see if I have here a 24mm clip. I've used so much the 70mm lens because it was such a unique perspective for me, and it looks amazing. Again, in bright daylight is the DJI Air 3 for social media usages amazing. The DJI Mavic Mini is also very good. When you want to make a little travel video and want to have a light camera, then you can purchase a used DJI Mavic Mini for, I don't know, 100 euro or something, and it will still look very good. Maybe write then in the YouTube video DJI Mavic 3 4 Pro footage, and you will have the same amount of clicks as with the real DJI Mavic 4 or something. When you look on the footage then closely, when you have them side by side, is of course the DJI Air 3 better. Why? Bigger sensor, newer codec, faster software in general. It is a better camera, it is the better drone, it can fly longer, but it is heavier, 720 grams, comparison to 249 grams. You need a drone license, etc. for this drone. When you crash with this drone, you lose approximately 1,200, 1,400 euro. With this drone, purchase something used for like 200, 150 euro and you're good to go. You can buy then 10 of these drones used for the price of one of these new. And you have then amazing footage. So for me, is it insane that the DJI Mavic Mini looks so amazing. Sure, for me is the DJI Air 3 better because I need to work with the camera. When you have clients and you come with the DJI Mavic Mini, then your client asks you, what is it? Why you come with toy? Why you don't come with real camera? And then you have to tell your client, well, the oh, here's an SD card in it. Okay, that's interesting. And then you have to tell your client, well, drone restrictions and laws and the government suppresses drone, blah, blah, blah. That's why I'm only allowed to fly here with a little cheap drone. Could be also a reason to sell the client only the DJI Mavic Mini instead of the expensive camera from the DJI Air 3. My ladies and gentlemen, write maybe in the comments down, what do you think about this comparison? Is DJI maybe holding back with technology? Will we see someday DJI Mavic Mini quality as good as the DJI Mavic 2 Pro or DJI Air 3? For me, looks at almost the same. For me was one of the main reasons to buy the DJI Air 3, the longer flight time, newer camera, newer software, etc. And it looks bigger. That's the thing. And the 70mm, the 3x camera was for me the reason to buy it. Because that was for me the no-brainer. I like this camera so much, parallax effect, etc. That looks amazing. So I hope you like this little comparison. Don't be afraid to have a little camera, a little drone with you on the vacation. That's amazing. See you in the next video.